Hey, are you struggling with bar chords? Notes are buzzing, your hand hurts every time you play them. You don't need to push harder, you don't need more reps, you're probably already doing too much work. The first time I ever saw a bar chord written out in music, I literally thought it was a mistake. Like, how am I supposed to play all these notes at the same time? But bar chords aren't about power, they're about technique. So I'm going to show you 3 exercises that won't just tell you what to do, they'll actually make your hands do it. Practice these exercises step by step and get unstuck. I believe in you. Let's play. Before we start this first one, can I tell you something about exercises real quick? The whole point of an exercise is to focus all of your attention on one technique and drill it over and over until it is baked into your muscle memory. It's just like a basketball player who practices free throws. It needs to become second nature. But here's the really important thing that most people miss. That means it is less about what you play and way more about how you play it. That's why in these lessons, I'm going to show you everything that you should be looking for. It's the same stuff that I would be looking for if I was your teacher and we were in a lesson together. And that's so important because I've seen this first exercise, or something that looks like it, taught the wrong way many times. Okay, so this first exercise is going to teach your pointer finger to push smarter, not harder. And before we even play, we're actually going to start by grabbing a capo if you have one. If you don't, it's okay, but if you put a capo on anywhere, I'm just gonna put mine on the 2nd fret, it will lower your strings, and you now don't have to push as hard, which means you can just focus on your technique. Take the tip of your pointer finger and play the first 2 strings, E and B, any fret you like. I'm on fret 7, and that doesn't really matter, but you should go somewhere in the middle of the guitar. Your string is tightest near the end, and so it's going to be harder to push there. By playing up closer to the middle, you're actually going to give yourself an easier time. Now already, this is where a lot of people make a mistake. Look at my hand closely. If you're doing this, if you're pulling your wrist back, if this tip joint is bent and curled, you're doing it the wrong way, and you're going to make it harder for yourself. There's a few reasons. 1, you're pushing harder than you need to. I'll show you why in a moment. And 2, imagine what's going to happen when you need to put those other fingers on. You're pulling your hand away, and they're going to have to stretch even more. The way we actually want to leverage the finger is not what you would think. Start by playing a single note on the B string. Now when you play this, you should be up on your fingertip, and the tip joint of your finger should be pointing straight out. Now we want to collapse that joint. That means it's going to lay down. So now that knuckle in the middle of your finger is laying down and putting the pressure. You're no longer pushing from the tip of your finger. You are now pushing flat from the finger, more from that knuckle than anything else. Now, if you're not getting a clean sound out of those 2 notes, there's a couple things that we need to pay attention to. And the first is actually your thumb. Now, I actually already proved in the intro that you don't need your thumb to play a bar chord. Your finger's enough. But your thumb helps. It's supposed to be there to support the fingers. So take a close look at what your hand's doing on the back of the guitar. If your thumb is off to the left, it's not helping anything. You're going to have to push way harder. Right now, move your thumb to the right, closer to your finger. It should be pretty much right behind your pointer finger. And you're going to feel now like you are squeezing between your flat thumb and your flat pointer. Now, if you can hear the note on the E string but not the B string, that means that you don't have enough pressure near the tip. And if you can hear the note on the B string but not the E, it actually means you're not laying down enough. Instead of pushing harder, what you actually want to do is move all the way from your wrist and pull your elbow gently back and forth until you are pushing evenly. You should feel like you're rocking your finger across these 2 strings. Once you've got that technique down for the first 2 strings, the next bit is easier. We're now going to move on to 3 strings, and the technique should be exactly the same. All 3 strings should be caught underneath the tip of that finger. Nothing different here. So now we get to do the first real part of this exercise. We're going to play those 3 strings on whatever fret you started with. I chose 7. Again, it's in the middle of the guitar. And now I want to move 1 fret left, and 1 fret left again, and 1 fret left again. And I'm going to keep going until I can get all the way down to the left. What's happening is that string is getting a little bit tighter every fret, and that means I need to be a little bit more precise with my pushing every time. I'm going to make it incrementally harder for myself. So now we move on to the harder version of the bar, 4, 5, and 6 strings. And please understand, the technique is different here. This is the big thing that I see everybody playing wrong. If your first 2 joints are straight, and then your big knuckle breaks and pulls your hand back, it's not going to work. That's the reason why some of your strings are coming out and others are not. It's the reason that you feel like you need to pull so hard. You're not using the weight of your hand. Let me show you what to do instead. The moment you get past this first joint, and you start using these two joints, you have to keep the entire finger straight. Really, you want the pointer finger and thumb to look like a capo on the guitar. The front of your capo is a straight line, and your pointer finger should be too. That means that your thumb needs to come straight down. Your wrist should be directly below the guitar, not back. And then your pointer finger should extend in front of the guitar. Now here's the big thing. You don't need to squeeze hard. You don't need to push harder. What you need to do is use your elbow. We're going to keep the fingers straight. Right now I'm just on 4 strings, but it's the same thing for 5 or 6. Line it up on all of the strings. Right now I'm touching the strings, but not pushing them. That's important. And instead of squeezing with my finger, I'm going to pull back with my elbow. Now you're using the weight of your entire arm instead of just the strength of one joint of one finger. That leverage is the key to easy bar chords. Now, if it's still buzzing, if you still can't get everything down, that's okay. There's a couple other things to look at. So take a look at your finger really carefully. If it curves at all, these little crevices are going to stop you from pushing a string down. So again, you want to make sure that your finger is nice and straight, but the other thing you can do is move it up or down slightly on the strings so that those little joints don't sit on a string. And if you're getting some notes out but not all of them, that actually gives you a lot of information. If you're getting out the outside notes, like the lowest and highest string, but the middle notes are not coming out, that means that you need to push harder from this middle joint. If you're getting all the strings closer to the ground, but not the ones closer to your head, it probably means that you've pulled your wrist too far and now the tip of your finger has moved away. So you need to rotate your wrist very slightly forward. And then the opposite of that, if you're getting the strings close to your head but not the ones close to the ground, that probably means that you've pushed your wrist too far forward. Gently pull it back a little bit. The key for all of this is balance. Keep a straight finger, set it evenly on all of the strings you're using, and pull back with your elbow. So we can now do our exercise with that group of 4, 5, or 6 strings also. Start with 4, play on fret 7, move down 1 fret at a time, do it with 5 strings, and all 6. Here's a couple important things to keep in mind while you do it. Usually when we move to the left or to the right, we tend to move the finger and leave the thumb where it is. That's a mistake. Your hand should feel the same no matter where it is moving left or right on the guitar. So make sure your thumb and your pointer finger move together. Second, for some people it's going to be easier to move over to the left, but harder to incorporate more strings. For other people it's going to be the opposite. You can get the strings more easily, but it becomes harder when you move to the left. Any of those is fine. Your goal should be to keep track of where you are today and to try to make a little bit of progress with it every time you practice. And if your hand ever starts to feel tired, take a break. You can do this exercise in 3-minute spurts. It doesn't have to be one long session. Besides, you're probably pushing too hard. When you start to feel that squeeze, make sure that your finger is straight and make sure that you're using your arm's weight. Now that first exercise trained your pointer finger, which is great, but bar chords use more fingers than just that. So exercise 2 is going to train the other 3 what they need to do. Before we do this exercise, let's talk about what bar chords actually are. Did you know that there are actually only 5 major chords and 3 minor chords on the guitar, period? Yeah, your major chords are C, A, G, E, and D, and your minor chords are E minor, A minor, and D minor. There are no other chords. An F chord, look at this, it's actually an E chord where your pointer finger is pretending to be a capo. A B minor chord is an A minor chord where your pointer finger is pretending to be a capo on fret 2. And that's really helpful because it helps us to understand the relationship between the bar and the rest of the fingers, and it gives us a way that we can practice these other fingers. Just play all of your open chord voicings with these 3, middle ring, pinky, and no pointer finger. Here's what that looks like. For your C chord, pinky, middle, ring. A chord, middle, ring, pinky. G is either ring, pinky, or if you want that note on the A string, ring, middle, pinky. E, ring, pinky, middle. D, middle, ring, pinky. For your minor chords, play E minor with ring and pinky, A minor with ring, pinky, and middle, and D minor with ring, pinky, and middle. This is going to feel awkward for a while, and that's okay. We have to work on it anyway, because a bar chord is this plus more work from your pointer finger. Here's how I would practice it. Take a group of chords, maybe E minor and A minor, and just practice going back and forth between them with no pointer finger. And And as you're doing that, you're training these fingers to be comfortable for the job that they'll do when you actually play the bar chord versions of them. Now there's one more silver lining. If you tried playing all these, maybe especially the G, some of these are really hard to play, but we don't really use all of them that much. The most common bar chord shapes that we use are the E shape, which turns into an F, the A minor shape, which turns into B minor, and the E minor shape, which turns into F sharp minor. We do use the others, but you certainly don't need to prioritize them. If you can do E, E minor, and A minor, you're in good shape. We worked on the bar, we worked on the rest of the chord shape. It's time to put them together. Now, a lot of people play the F chord first because they just run into it first in music, but I actually think it's easier to practice a B minor chord, which again, we want to think of as an A minor chord with a bar on the second fret. Now, I'm not going to play it here as a B minor. I'm actually going to take this whole shape and I'm going to shift it up. I'm on fret 7. Again, it doesn't matter exactly where you are, but I want to go higher up on the guitar. It does two things. It makes me not have to push as hard, and it brings my hand closer into my body so my wrist doesn't feel like it's reaching too far. Now, when you go to play this chord, there's a really simple trick that I think helps a lot. Put the other fingers, the ring, middle, and pinky, on the string first. And what that does is it tends to line up your hand at the angle that it needs. And it's going to show your pointer finger where to go for the bar. A lot of times if you put the bar finger down first, you're going to accidentally pull your hand further away from where those other fingers need to go. By putting those fingers in first, you make sure they get a lot of support, and your pointer finger knows where to lay down. In general, when you're playing a big chord, if your pinky feels like it's really stretching, then you need to move your thumb slightly over to the right, and you need to push your wrist and your elbow very slightly to the right too. You should feel like you're leaning on them, putting the weight of your hand into them. And if you feel like your bar is losing its grip and slipping too far to the right, you need to just very gently move it slightly back to the left. It's about balance. Now I'm going to play this chord, and hopefully everything comes out clearly. If not, it's really important that you figure out what didn't come out clearly. If it's part of the bar, you know that you need to go back to exercise 1 and work on part of that. If it's one of the other fingers, you know that you need to go back to exercise 2 and work on your balance with those chord shapes. But there's another trick that's going to make this easier. Even though you're barring all 5 strings, you don't need to actually push down all 5. The G, D, and B strings are being covered by your other 3 fingers, so there's no point in pushing them. For the B minor chord and any shape related to it, all you need to do is grab the A string with the tip of your finger and the high E string with the back of your finger, usually right around the knuckle. Everything else in the middle can be arched. Anytime you're putting your fingers together to play a chord and something buzzes, do not just push harder in general. You need to figure out which one finger, which part of your finger needs to push harder, or more likely, reposition. After you've done that A minor shape on one of the higher frets, do the same thing that we did in exercise 1. Start moving it down to the left 1 fret at a time, until you get down to fret 2, which is going to be a B minor chord. Again, if you need some extra help, throw a capo back on, and it's going to kind of act as training wheels. Next, we're going to do our F chord, which, remember, is actually an E chord where we're pretending to be a capo. Don't do it on fret 1. Bar on fret 7 or 8. Once again, put the other fingers down first, make sure that your thumb is over to the right, supporting all of the fingers, and finally, lay your pointer down. This is one step harder because now the tip still has to grab that E string as it did before, but now you have 2 strings that you need to catch in the top part of your finger, the E and the B strings. You don't actually need to press down and bar all 6 strings. All you need to do is place that knuckle of your finger right between the E string and the B string, and you should be able to get both of them down. There's really only one more that you should practice initially, and that's the E minor chord turning into F sharp minor. We do this in the key of A with A, D, E, and F sharp minor together. So start with an E minor, and we are once again going to move it up. I'm going to go all the way up to fret 7. This one is harder because now you have 3 strings that you need to catch under your bar. If your G string is buzzing, which is very possible, there's 2 reasons it could be. One is that the pinky is laying down and muting it. If that's the case, what you need to do is shift your wrist a little bit to the right. That should make your pinky stand up more. But if your pinky's clearing that string just fine, then it is a bar issue. 2 things that you can try. 1, push your pointer finger up or down a little bit on the string, just so that you can rearrange the spots where the strings are actually touching. 2, try putting some pressure from this middle knuckle and not from the tip. And finally, go back to your basics. Make sure that you're thinking of all the things that we talked about in exercise 1. Is your thumb located right behind the pointer finger acting as a capo? Are you keeping your finger straight? And are you using the weight of your elbow, not of the finger itself? Bar chords are tricky. They're a rite of passage that everyone has to go through and everyone struggles with. But if you practice these exercises, you will master bar chords. And the proof is that you're going to be able to actually see incremental progress every single practice session. By the way, if you need help planning your practices, how long should you play for, what should you play next, I have a guide to the perfect 7-minute practice routine down in the description that you can check out. And I know that while you're working on these bar chords, you probably still have songs you want to play. And that's why I recorded this video. It's going to teach you some other versions of chords that you can play instead of the bar chords, so that you can still start playing the songs that you want today. I'll see you there.